when you don't read the cartoons before the show, you know.
Right.
Oh, we're going to continue to talk about animals. In this case, the
Pet adoptions.
Controversial. I thought we were going to talk about the pupfish.
Well, we are. We're going to talk about pupfish, but before we get there, we're going to talk about puppies and kitties.
And you can adopt pupfish. By the way,
this weekend, you can adopt. Today, Saturday, you can adopt dogs and cats downtown at the downtown mall and at Petco and Loman.
You can always do that. Those of you who like squirrels as well as dead squirrels, according to the producer's son, you should go to YouTube and look up dead squirrel. It's really cute. It's cute. We're going to show it, but we were censored on that. Anyway, Mark wants to talk about pupfish because it's got the word pup and it's got the word fish in it, and it's cute and it's blue.
What's not to like?
And Steve Pearce, you know, Pearce, the word Pearce is like an aggressive name,
like an arrow.
Isn't it? It's like, yes,
into a living
he's willing
thing.
to put an arrow into that fish and kill it. He would go scuba diving and spearfish that fish just to.
Well, see, now we don't want to be guilty of setting up the same kind of lies that he does.
Yes, we don't want to lie.
Because he did lie about the pupfish. It's an endangered species found only in southern New Mexico, saying that, well, the pupfish lives on 40 acres, and it was going to inhibit the Border Patrol from chasing illegals, which is nothing but a pack of lies. The thing lives in one little pond covering about 1 acre, is in no way going to inhibit law enforcement activities in the area whatsoever. But for him to come up with such a wild scenario means, and this isn't the only time he's done this, means he's really got something against the environment. And environmentalists more.
Well, because to him, the environmentalist means less drilling for oil. You know, we could drill for oil in one spot and branch out, but that's more expensive. So he wants to keep us from having any ecological events.
No, but the pupfish isn't preventing him from drilling oil.
No, because
at all.
it's all by the border, and he's saying that it prevents the DEA agents from riding around. But he's using that same logic to keep people out of eastern New Mexico and doing all their
to protect the lizard
things.
That's there. Yes, there's the little brown lizard is endangered.
Rather, what he should do is if he says there is one place in New Mexico which is a little pond, he should turn it into like a zoo or a nature center. That would be really cute.
He could have done something positive and come out to help protect it. How lucky we are to have this one remaining species left in his own district. Instead, he just soon eliminate it and find negative reasons for its existence. Thanks a lot, Steve Pearce.
So for those of you who want to protect the nature, go out to the Humane Society and adopt a pupfish. That way, pupfish will continue to live, and you just put it in your aquarium. And then we'll have pupfish for you.
I don't think so, Michael. They're protected species. You got to leave them where they are, where they belong.
That's true. They will change. They'll turn into koi.
Go get down and get
carp.
One of those nutras.
A nutra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Neons or whatever they're called.
Those are cool. So anyway, enough about the ecology of the nation. Let's talk about what do you want to talk about? Kidnappers.
I have a question about these kidnappers who kidnapped this girl in Arizona. They kidnapped her when she was just a young girl. And
Did you want to know the technique?
They held her for 18 years until they were finally caught with her. Ruined her life, ruined her mother's life.
18 years.
They assaulted her.
That's a lot of life.
And then, anyway, they caught them. They found them guilty, and they sentenced one of them to 431 years to life.
Whichever comes first.
Now, how long do they expect this guy to live?
Well, that's what's wrong with.
How does that work?
That's what's wrong with the penal system. They have to keep these people alive for 431 years, and a lot of our medical money goes into keeping them alive for so long. Really, don't you think?
Absolutely. Well, for 431 years, absolutely.
It is. Yeah, it's a long time.
Because if he lives that long, he'll get out, right?
Yes. I mean, there's some. Well, no, they said life at the end, just in case the 430. If he lives like 432 years, they don't want him out walking the streets.
Well, if it was me,
by the time he gets out, that girl will be like 452.
Well,
and they don't want her. They don't want him to go looking for her again.
That's true.
He's a dangerous character.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he should have gotten life in the electric chair.
Life in the electric chair.
Yes.
And you're thinking they should not sand the electric chair so he'll get splinters, right? So that would be the ultimate insult, having splinters.
That'll teach him.
There. So as long as you're talking about laws and politicians.
Well, earlier we were discussing liquor licenses in New Mexico.
Sure.
And New Mexico's got to be one of the craziest states in the nation when it comes to liquor licenses, because every county is only allowed a certain number.
Yes.
And when you've used that number up, and you want a liquor license, you then have to go and buy one from somebody else. Buy one or lease
rent
one.
it. You have to lease it.
Right, and they're so expensive because there's so few. They're so expensive. They're upwards of $300,000 to $500,000 each.
I myself only have 2 liquor licenses because I can't afford many more.
Well, you're a hoarder.
Yes. Well, if you want to borrow my liquor license, you can.
I appreciate
It's a good thing we don't need liquor licenses to drink liquor.
Well, State Senator Leonard Lee Rawson was recently quoted as saying, when they came up with these concepts that, we didn't want liquor licenses, we didn't want liquor stores on every corner. Well, why not? There should be a tavern on every corner so people can have what they want to drink, and then they don't have to drive home. They can walk home because the bar is in their neighborhood.
Right, but what kind of money do we make if we don't have DUIs?
That's right.
In New York, I remember, I really never heard of, I don't want to give away where I'm from, which my accent probably does by itself, but nobody ever got DUIs, DWIs, or anything because, first of all, it's only public transportation.
Right, you take public transportation, which we don't have here.
And as you said, the taverns were prolific. They were around
They're in the neighborhood,
all the place.
as
yes.
they are all around the world in real cities.
In Europe, Ireland, a country that is rather conservative. It's mostly, part of it is Catholic.
Mostly Catholic.
They have a great, I guess, societal thing where the family goes to the tavern.
It's a meeting place.
Yes, it's
a
social.
public house, they call it.
If you have drinking liquor as a social endeavor and not as something you do to piss off your parents and to piss off everybody else, people get into the mindset that it's something that you can do in moderation. You don't have to drink liquor to show that you can drink the most liquor of anybody else. That is not the point of liquor.
Well, the term pub comes from public house, where people would gather at the public house. They would have something to eat.
Knowledgeable.
They would have some drinks. They
talk with their friends. They'd have a social
socialize. The politicians would come in and meet with everybody. And
yes. Now that we're in a fragmented, transient society, liquor, bars or pubs would be great places to start to build a core of social acceptance.
Right. And if you want to cut down on drunk driving in New Mexico, we need to have more bars, not less of them. And Lee Rawson thinks that getting away with drive-up windows at liquor stores helped the problem. He's sadly mistaken. He's delusional, actually. I know Lee Rawson. I like Lee Rawson. I've known him since we were kids. But he's wrong on this issue. And
you're stating it there. So we don't want to go get a drink later.
No.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later.
It certainly won't be on our corner.
It won't be in my neighborhood, I can tell you that.
And any neighborhoods that we're in. So we'll have to figure out a place, where we can drive to. Really, if you have 2 drinks over a period of, an hour, you're over the .08.
That's your maximum right there.
Yeah, so you just got to learn how to sip. Or they could be like, North Carolina used to have the 3% beer.
Yes.
So you would have a beer, and by the time you drank it, you have to go to the bathroom, pee it out, come back. You can never get drunk because you're doing more work and sweating than you are getting of alcohol.
Right.
But 3% beer. Well,
near beer, they call it.
It's not even. It's beer, but it's not near delicious.
No, it's not. So now.
Yes.
The public schools.
Yeah. Good segue.
What's going on with the public schools,
Going from drinking to the public schools.
Drinking to education.
Yes. What is going on with public schools?
Well, they're not hiring back a lot of people.
So they're not hiring the public anymore. So here's my argument, my large argument. The government is not hiring any more people because we're trying to cut down on government. Of course, part of the government's job is to keep people working, yet they are cutting down on government jobs. Now, I know a certain factor of this country wants to cut down on government spending. So if the government isn't spending and the government sort of wants to see people have jobs, who is supposed to do the job supplying? Are we supposed to go to private sector? Well, the private sector does things for their own profit. And sometimes it's just not profitable to do things. Because first of all, if it were profitable to start to hire people, more people would be doing it. There are no things that people can do anymore. The government has to be the people that are supplying the jobs.
Well, maybe we should just outsource the education of our children to China.
Then we have less jobs totally. I mean, it's not going to work. We have to find a more equitable way to divvy up the money in this country.
Okay, how are we going to do that?
Well, I think
Socialism?
it's up to government. I didn't want to say the S word because, you know, the S word is bad enough. Here, Greg Sowards has accused Lieutenant Governor John Sanchez of the M word. You know, the M word is bad for. Here he is quoted as saying, "Another moderate Republican will try to deny their roots and engage in an extreme candidate makeover to seem conservative." So, what are our roots? Are our roots the basic Anglo-American?
It doesn't matter what our roots are. What's going on now?
Well, being conservative, perhaps this is not the time to be conservative, but to look for ways to help out the people. Not just the people in the top 2% of the economy, but the people kind of at the bottom. And what do we say about people so-called on the bottom? They don't want to work? Well, I think right now we're in a situation where a lot of people want to work and there are no jobs. If you cut 115 jobs through attrition in Las Cruces Public Schools, that's 115 kids graduating college who don't have any place to teach. And there are no other jobs anyway. You got to make jobs by having some government input at this point.
But who wants to work for the Las Cruces Public Schools anyway, really, when it gets right down to it?
You know, when you're
I
stuck,
definitely would not want to work there.
You work there, it's a lot better than working for McDonald's. Nothing against people who work for McDonald's because...
Well, hey, at least you're not living in Juarez where they...
and they have good French fries.
Where the killings are down for the third time. For 3 months in a row, the killings in Juarez have been down. Hey, what's the matter?
They don't have jobs there.
They're not holding up their end of the bargain. They're slacking just like they are here.
Well, that's one of the reasons we go to war, to get rid of people who work.
Well, okay. Well, down in Juarez, Mexico, there's beautiful downtown Juarez.
Third month in a row.
So
congratulations.
Killings are down. Way to go, buddies.
Precipitation is down. Actually, it's staying up.
Well,
it's not coming down. We passed day 119 of drought, and it rained here, but it wasn't measurable rain.
I didn't get rain.
I saw rain. There was a raindrop every 3 inches.
Well, I saw it in the distance. But anyway, we have to wrap up.
Yes.
Because we're dried up. So thanks for joining us right here on Double Talk, and we'll see you here same time next week.